So let's move to connection creation between the vertical bracing and the column. As we had did initially for the tie beam, we want to apply the same to our vertical bracings. So let's come to bracings connection. Then we'll pick bolted gusset plate, pick on that, and I want to create a connection between this member and that member, and just right click and create a connection in between. So if we take a look, if I just click on this, you can see we have a scenario here where the gusset plates we have top and bottom, we have some gusset plates that adds more strength to our gusset plate here. So it's optional. We can either do away with them or just retain them the way they are. So I would prefer to just leave it the way they are. And if I come this far end here, I'll be able to pick on that and come here and select the column and pick on the vertical bracing and right click and come to that. So I'll come here once again and pick on that, click on that and right click to create a connection, as simple as that. Pick on that, then right click and create a connection. So if you're not able to see it clearly, pick the joint you want to rotate about by left clicking, then hold your right button on the mouse and you'll be able to rotate that. So you can see we've created a connection there. So we want to create a similar thing here by clicking on the column, then picking on the vertical beam, the vertical bracings there. So let me pick on that, right click to create a connection. So do the same thing here and right click and create a connection. So right click once again to get out of that macro. So I want to rotate this model about this point. So I'm going to left click on this point like that, then hold my right button on the mouse and move and turn it around like that. You can see it's very easy. So another thing remaining here is how do you place a bolt in between the two? How do you bolt these together? It's very easy with assistance of points creation. So using points is very key in COMOSYS, and it's always advisable you know how to use it and apply them and where to use the type of points. So I'll come here and pick on the point, and I just snap here on that location, and I want to snap here on this location. These are just points to help me narrow down on the center here where I'll be able to place my bolt on the exact location. So the next thing I'm going to do, it's not necessary that you use my workflow as it is here. There are so many ways you can locate the point right at the center here. So let me just come back and come to dividing points, and since I'll snap right at the middle of this particular member here, then move, just mouse over here and you'll get a midpoint right there. So that way you'll be able to snap on the midpoint of that member, and this is the location that we intend to place our bolt. So I can just go ahead and just pick the point, or just apply the same approach here prior to creating the bolts. So let's just mark it all the way prior to placement of the bolts. So let me just come here and right click and come to dividing points, then just snap on the middle point here. Let me just mouse over until you locate on the midpoint. The midpoint will be active the moment you snap on it. So I'll snap on that spot, and if I just mouse over along this edge, I'll be able to get a point right there that defines the center of my point. So it's not locating a midpoint. So let me just come here and click dividing point and do the same thing. So let me just snap on that spot and just mouse over on that location and try and get a midpoint like that, and I'm not able to get any. So what do we do? It's very, very simple, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mouse over on that spot and create a point right there and create a point right here. And let me just come back again and try if I can create a dividing point or intersection point. Let me just do that, and let me just mouse over that. And if it's not creating the exact point, we'll just do a different approach. Just create a point here, and we'll carry that bolt to the bottom end. So I want to reorient or place my XYZ coordinate here. And how do you do that? I'll come to points just to guide us, and just maybe snap here. Maybe snap on that location. Maybe let me just snap on that location And let me just turn that round so that I see whether I'm the right location on the right point. So I'm on the right location, I'm on the right point. So let me just select on that and come to copy. And I want to copy it from here. This is just to guide me in placement of my XYZ plane. So I've placed a point here. This is just to help me in creating a XYZ plane. How do we do that? I'll come to view and I want to create XYZ plane or work plane using 3 points. So let me just start it from that spot and go to this spot and come to this spot right here. And so I'll be able to place my XYZ coordinate or plane or work plane on that spot. So the next thing is just to place bolts. So I'll pick on bolts and pick the bolts group and pick the components I want to bolt together and right click. And I want to, first of all, prior to placement of the bolts, confirm the distance from here to here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to edit and pick on measure, click on that drop down arrow and pick measure distance. And I want to measure from that distance, from that spot to this spot. This is 82.84. And that's exactly what I'm going to use in placement of my bolts distance. So I'm going to go back to steel, then come back to bolts, right click on that drop down arrow, pick that member and this member, right click, and I want to create a bolt from that spot and that spot. So you can see I have my bolts in place, but I don't intend to have two bolts in this particular location. I just need one bolt, just so that will cut across to connect the two. So I'll double click on this bolt here. So once I've double clicked on the bolt, I'm going to change the size of the bolt by just keying uh, M16 or dia 16 and click apply. So once I've clicked on that, I can either add washer here or add a third washer right there and click apply, then come to positions here. So on the positions here, this is key. You see the default here we have 60 millimeter. So what I'm going to add here is, remember it was 82.84. So that is exactly what I'm going to key in here, 0.84. So if I just key in or just one times that, and just I just need one bolt at that distance. If I click that, I'll be able to see that in coming up. So how do I take this to the center here? Now that is upon playing with these alignments. So on the x-axis, I can take this to the middle, click on the middle, and that will take it straight to the middle, and I have my bolt right in the center. So that is my bolt. So I can just go ahead and select the bolt here and pick on copy, and I can try copy this bolt from that location. And I want to go ahead and place it in the same location underneath this one here. So let me just click on that and see if I'll have my bolts in place. So I have my bolts in place. So let me try hide this bolt so and see if the hole has been created. If it's not created, you have to create the bolt yourself, because if you generate drawing, the hole will not be the hole for the bolt will not be shown. So let me just hide that. Hide selected. So if I hide, I'll have my bolt in place. So let me just right click and show all. So once I've shown all, I'm going to select or switch back to my global position here by clicking G here. Then I'll select everything here. So once I've selected everything here, I'm going to mirror this to the other end. So once I've mirrored that, I'm going to right click and come to special copy and pick on mirror. So let me see whether my mirror line is still in place. My mirror line still is active, so I have to define another mirror line. So let me just snap on that spot. So this is my midpoint. So I'll define my mirror line on that midpoint. So I'll go ahead and click run. So if I click run, I'll be able to copy this on the other end. So let's just give some time to process that information. So once it's done, we'll just go ahead and click close and right click, hold, and you can see that has been copied right away. So the next thing we are going to do is just to copy this. Just press Control, because the other one is still actively selected. So let's select this. So we have this in place. So we want to populate this along the x-axis. So what we do, just right click and come to special copy and pick on linear. So once you picked on linear, I want to just snap right there. I define the intervals of distances where I intend to copy these tie beams, and tie beams and bracings. So if you take if we take a keen look, you'll find that if I do so, in my case, I need the tie beam to go all the way full length and the bracings to go at some interval measurement, interval distances. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to deselect this so that I only remain with the bracings, so that I'll be able to populate it, populate them at a specific interval of lengths. So let me just come to copy and pick on linear and zoom out. So once I've zoomed out like that, let me just zoom out and snap on that spot. Snap on that spot and zoom out once again, and I want to populate it at a distance of approximately 12 meters. So let me just snap on that spot. So if I click on that, you'll be able to see I have 12 meters. So what we do, I need approximately maybe 3 of them, or maybe just add 3 or 6 of them right now. 10 is okay, or 5 is okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click copy. So give it some time to process that information. So whichever point it will reach, we'll add some. So let's give some time to process that information. Then we'll come back to tie beams and process and follow the same workflow in populating the tie beam to the full length of our structure. So let's get closer there, and if we zoom out, let me just see the information here. Everything has been copied, but with some little bit of errors that we need to rectify, go and check and rectify. So let me just close that. So if I zoom out, I'll see I have this in place. So if I zoom out once again, you can see we've gone past our target point. And if we come here, you can see we've gone past our target point, and that should not be a worry here. And we can just always go ahead and just type delete that. So remember, we can go ahead and populate this once again. Select on that and select on that. Then right click and come to spatial copy here and click linear. So once you've clicked on linear, I'm going to just snap on the bottom end here. Let me just snap at the bottom end here and do the same thing. Let me just let me just snap there. The moment you see a red snap, means you are right on the in the right intersection point, and the same applies here. So the moment I define that, we'll be able to see on the x-axis you have 6 meter. So we need 12 of these. Just click 10. So I'll go ahead and click copy. So if I click copy, you'll find that all this will be populated along the full height or the full length of our structure. So we are almost there. You can see we're number 3. We are copying 3, then we go to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10 to the count that we had just keyed in here. So just be patient and give some time to populate that. And there we are, and we can go ahead and close this. Although we have some information here that maybe we had exceeded that. You can see the time spent is just 30.47 microseconds, and you can close that, and we close that. So if you zoom out, you can see we've gone past, and that's the area being displayed. So just press edit, press delete, and we can delete that. You can see even the connection has been copied. So we can go ahead and even add another connection here. Let me just zoom out, select on that, and we need some bracings here. Let me just select on that and come here and press Control and select this. And I want to add some bracings in the far end here, and right click and come to spatial copy, and we'll be able to copy that. So let me just zoom closer and see if I can snap on that spot. And if I zoom close, I'll be able to add some bracings on the far end. So I can just go ahead and click copy. So if I copy that, you'll be able to see we'll have that in place. So we have another bracing on the far end here. So this is key, and that's easy as that. So I hope you try that by yourself, and we've gone so much in with regards to time. And don't forget to save your work. This is key, and I've saved that. So I hope you'll try that in COMOSYS 2024 and enjoy using COMOSYS. And bye bye.